Good morning, students. This is your history lesson. Students, today we will read chapter 2, Ancient Egypt of the Pharaohs. So we start our lesson. Students, the meaning of ancient is belonging to very distant past and no longer in existence. And Egypt is located in the northeastern corner of Africa. It means we will read about the past which is not no more in existence in the region of pharaohs. We will read about the ancient Egypt of the pharaohs. We will read about the past and old time that is no more now. So, we will start our lesson. You are supposed to open page number 6 and read about pharaohs with me. Students, do you know who was pharaohs? The pharaohs of ancient Egypt were the supreme leaders of the land. They were like kings or emperors. They ruled both Upper and Lower Egypt and were both the political and religious leader. The pharaohs was often thought of as one of the gods. Students, the name pharaohs comes from a word meaning great house, describing a palace or kingdom. The pharaoh's wife or queen of Egypt was also considered a powerful ruler. She was called the great royal wife. Sometimes women became the rulers and were also called pharaohs, but it was generally men. The son of the current pharaoh would inherit the title and would often go through training so he could be a good leader. So, pharaohs were typically male, although there were some noteworthy female leaders. Understand, students? So, the name pharaohs comes from a word meaning great house, describing a palace or kingdom. Now come to the reading, page number 6. Nearly 5,000 years ago, an ancient civilization existed along the river Nile in Egypt, just as the Indus Valley civilization existed around the river Indus. Students, you know very well that river Indus is situated in Pakistan and river Nile is situated in Egypt. So, in Egypt, about 5,000 years ago, there was an old civilization as same as in Pakistan, named as Indus Valley civilization. That is known as Indus Valley civilization. The river Nile is nearly 4,000 miles long and is the longest river in the world. So, students, we can say that river Nile is about 6,670 kilometers in length and is the longest river in Africa and in the world. Although it is generally associated with Egypt, only 22% of the Nile's course runs through Egypt. So, it is very important river as we talk about the ancient civilization of Egypt. The White Nile rises from Lake Tanganyika in southeast Africa and runs south to north through Tanzania, Uganda and Sudan, where it is joined by the Blue Nile, which rises from Lake Tana in Ethiopia. So students, the White Nile is a river in Africa and the name comes from coloring due to clay carried in the water. So it is White Nile due to its clay carried in the water. Students, Tanganyika, Tanzania, Uganda and Sudan are all African countries. And we come to know that Nile is very important river because this is the only river that runs through all these countries. The delta of the Nile is on the Mediterranean Sea. Delta is an area of low, flat land shaped like a triangle where a river splits and spreads out into several branches before entering the sea. A delta is an area of low, flat land shaped like a triangle where a river splits and spreads out into several branches before entering the sea. The delta of the Nile is on the Mediterranean Sea. The Nile is flanked by deserts on both east and west. Flanked means guard or strengthen from the side. So the Nile is strengthened or gets strong by deserts on both east and west, and there are forests, grasslands and highlands in the south. So on the south side there are forests, grasslands and highlands. Now come to the importance of the river Nile. What is the importance of the river Nile, students? Do you know? In Egypt, the river Nile creates a fertile green valley across the desert. This is the importance. In Egypt, the river Nile creates a fertile green valley across the desert. It was by the banks of the river that one of the oldest civilizations in the world began. The ancient Egyptians lived and farmed along the Nile, using the soil to produce food for themselves and their animals. So this is the importance of the river Nile. Let's start reading of this paragraph. Ancient Egyptians found many uses for the river Nile. When spring came around, the water ran down the mountains and flooded the Nile and surrounding areas. And when it receded mean go or move back. When the river Nile moved back, it left fertile soil on the banks where the ancient Egyptians grew crops. Soil is the upper layer of earth in which plants grow. So when the river Nile moved back, it left fertile layer on the bank where the people would grow crops. The river also provided them with fresh water for drinking and bathing, and it was also used for transportation of goods, making trade flourish. Flourish means grow or develop in a healthy way. So it was also useful for trading things and transporting goods from one place to another. So the people used the river for transporting their goods from one place to another. Along the shores of the Nile grew a reed-like plant called papyrus. Students, shore is the land along the edge of a sea, lake or wide river. So it is the edge of the sea, and papyrus is a material similar to thick paper that was used in ancient time as a writing surface. So the river Nile was also very helpful, very useful to grow reed-like plant like papyrus, which was used for making paper, as I have told you already. The river banks provided materials for building. Cotton and flax were grown for cotton fabric and linen. So students, flax is a blue flowered plant that is cultivated for its seed and for textile fiber made from its stalks. So it's a type of plant that is very useful in textile field. The people enjoyed a prosperous lifestyle because of the Nile. So people were very developed, very successful due to the river Nile. Egyptians were mostly priests, scribes, craftsmen and farmers. So students, people belonged to different professions as they were priests. Scribe is a person who copies documents. So they were craftsmen, they were artists and farmers. Farmers, you know very well, who works in the field, who grow plants and work in fields. Now understand students, this is the importance of the river Nile. That river Nile was very helpful and very useful for agriculture, for irrigation. People got water for irrigation, and it was very helpful in trading as they transported their things from one place to another. Similarly, river water was very rich and very helpful for growing different crops that were useful in industries as well and textile industries. Administration under the Pharaoh. So the ruler of Egypt was called the Pharaoh, and he owned everything in the land. Owned, have something as one's own. So the ruler of Egypt was called the Pharaoh. The person who was ruling the land of Egypt was called Pharaoh, and he owned everything in the land. He was the one person who possessed everything in the land, and he was helped by an organized army, a police force and a huge number of ministers and government officials to run the country. So different people were appointed on different ranks to help him to run the country, and in those posts there were army officers, police officers and number of ministers. The pharaoh had a vizier or prime minister who reported to him daily on what was happening all over Egypt. So students, we learned that he had a huge force. he had a vizier or prime minister whose duty was to report him daily what was happening on his land. The Wazir was also the Chief Justice, and people came to him if the lower courts could not handle their problems fairly. So, the other duty of Wazir was to do justice among the people and solve the problems fairly. This system of government carried on successfully for hundreds of years, but we also hear of cruel Cruel mean extremely unkind, and harsh. Harsh mean bad tempered, rough rulers among them. So, if we go to the past and we study the history, we will come to know that the government was very organized, and all the persons appointed for different tasks were performing their duties very well. But within the passage of time, there were some people who were very bad tempered and unkind to the people of the state. Now come to page number 7. The ancient Egyptians were polytheists. Students, polytheists, you know very well, worshipping many gods. Many theists, believers in gods. So, the meaning of polytheists is worshipping many gods. It means the people of Egypt worshipped many gods. They believed in many gods. They had nearly 2000 gods and goddesses who usually had animal heads. As you can see from the picture that there is a picture who has animal head. Temples were built to worship them. So they built temples in the honor of the god so that they could be able to worship them, and the space was used for other purposes too, such as a school for children and for gatherings and festivals for the people. Festival, a day or period of celebration. So students, we come to know that they built temples to offer their prayers, to worship the gods, and other places were also built for the purpose of school and for gathering and to celebrate special occasions or special days. So this was about their religion. Understand, students? I hope you have understood from this lesson. So this is your lesson for today. You have to read page number 6 and 7 again and understand the terms properly. Thanks for listening. Take care. Allah Hafiz.